Hey YouTube, this is Kevin from the Zero channel. Today I'm going to do a profile on the Triple K deck from Rewrite, Blue Yellow. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This is a very good build that I thought was going to be the best, but it turns out it isn't. But it's still self-sufficient and has a win con that's kind of unordinary. And yeah, if you know what this deck does, if you're kind of like a fan of this series, then you probably do know what this deck does, and it's really straightforward, and it has some personal choices that I like to have with all three sets. First, I'm going with level zeros, so I need 4 of these runners. Self-explanatory. It is notably what really matters here is a level 0, and it's blue. And yeah, it gives you a stock pretty much for 2 turns. Let's say 2 turns, and yeah, give something 500, or it's all 500 until the end of your opponent's turn, and it's free. Free run. Next, I'm running 3. Or that was I mentioned this is from the first set. Next, I'm running 3 of these Shizurus that on play, you look at the top 2, you rearrange them of the deck, you rearrange them and you put them back on top, and then on attack, you mill 1. If that's a level 0, you call it to the back row. And yeah, it's a very good combo piece with your other cards. Surprisingly, it combos a little bit more than the Guardian deck. So, what about that? How about that? You could probably think about combos as I read the effects of these cards. So, next, I'm running from the Harvest Vesta second booster, the draw drop Kagari on startup. So you just pay 1, you do that draw 1, drop 1. And then another standby ability is you tap herself, get something from until your opponent's turn. Yeah, simple as that. We don't have a draw drop on play in this series in Weiss, so that's why I'm bringing this. Next, I'm bringing 2 of the Falling Meteor Kogari from anime. On play, she has 2 abilities on play. You can mill 2. You mill 2. You happen to mill this. This level 1 Kogari. You can call her, put her on board where this slot was, or where she was, and then you can get something 15 until the end of the turn. So it is a Puchimi clone, in short. And it's a very good interaction. But mostly, I'm running this because of the same reason. All these blue cards have in common, and yeah, level 0, and they fit the deck. Next, 4 of the plussing restricted brainstorm. I say restricted because you only can search out herself, Kagari, or Kortaro. So yeah, and then you can give something 1k once per turn. You can give something 1k if you play an event, and that's pretty much it. It's a card that you need to run 4 of because this meta needs calls for it, and yeah, your main brainstormer needs to be a 4 of. Next is the Tsukitsubo Kagaris from the anime set. What she does is you pay 1 on startup. You pay 1, tap herself, damage yourself 1. You search for a like this Kotori, Kagari, or Kotaro, and you add it to hand from a deck. And then her continuous ability is on your turn only. All your characters gain 5. Global. very good. Then last, level 0, I'm only running 2 of these Kakaris that bond it to the 1-0 Kotoros. That also gets the Fikoff from the waiting room, that 1-0 Kotoro. So yeah, this could be like another copy of your Kotoro or whatever, you can say that. Also, when you play an event, you give this 1 soul. That's where, yeah, to yourself, and yeah, you can just. It's not really a great card, but it serves its purpose if you need to pay out stock or whatever. And to get that extra copy, serial copy, is pretty good. Yeah. If you need something to cut out, this also maybe this can be cut out if you need room for things. So yeah, this deck is kind of interchangeable. At level 1, I'm running 4 of these Kogaris, a combo with the shots. Okay, her top ability first is 4 less stock, she gains 2k, and then with this, only on your turn. And with this, on board, when you reverse something, you look at top 3, you add a card from one of those 3, and you send the rest in the room. So you can get events, climaxes, whatever. You're not character restricted or anything, so very good. Well, but with this deck, you actually don't fold if you don't get this out, because of this thing can sustain you anyway. With the Fikoff event, so this deck can actually, you can lose one of these and still be good, but this deck could always use more tools, so more merrier, I guess. And yeah, with this one, he does is on play, or not on play. Oh yeah, on play. You can ditch one, salvage or bond, something into this, and then his other ability is he gets 1k only on your turn. I continuous, so it's not it's on your turn. It's actually during your turn. He gains 1k. And lastly, I have running 1 top counter. Ditch 3, pay 1, ditch 3, top counter. I think it's a good card because it's a character. You can fetch her out with anything, pretty much anything. So, yeah. And 4 of these, I would probably call them yellow Ignite module, but they're free, pretty much. But there are other cards that the targets that actually bond to things kind of pay out the cost to play it, but this is too free not to run. So yeah, very, very self-sustainable at level 1. There's really not anything else that you would like to run because of this engine, and how Bushiroad designed it is kind of like, I kind of wish they could, make things more splashable, but I think it's a pretty decent setup. Next is level 2s. We're running 1 stock, any level stock bomb. We don't have a counter. I could actually do this effect, but it's okay. I don't think the stock, this version is kind of in the middle as a part to the bottom deck, or the straight up red one, but I believe this is not getting in the middle. It could be in contention for worse, but yeah. Our other ability is just, I believe it's just like a climax combo that's really irrelevant, so yeah. Next, I'm running 2 of these level assists. Pretty crucial into getting out when you set up for level 2. What she does is 500 for every level in front, she gives, and then at the start of your climax phase, you can look at the top card of the deck or check it. If it's a level 0, you can put it under as a marker, and at the same time you can give it to this card and put it under her as a marker. So that same card that you charge, you put it into her. So you do that simultaneously, and you can check for multiple. If you have 2 on board, or like 2, but yeah, the same purpose. I really like this card. I wish it was like a. Actually, it's really nice. I don't think, or maybe I wish it had a soul trigger, honestly, but it's really good. Apart from that, I'll just put in my level 3s here since they work with each other. I'm running 4 of these Kotoris. It's pretty staple. And her early play condition is 2 less climaxes in the waiting room, and then she's a on-play heal with the preparation or whatever barrier climax. At the pants, you charge a, I would call it soul charge. You put a blue card from your waiting room, you put it under as a marker, and then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay out a marker for her to give 2k, and the card from across her loses 2 soul. So it kind of compress a little bit, because you're only doing it 1 at a time. Because I do not think you can pay out more than 1. So yeah, if you can get out 2, you're pretty much value town, I guess. So yeah, and she's very good. Probably the main reason you play this deck. Finally, as your pseudo finisher, when you get so much value off her, you play this Kagari. What she does is on play, you look at top X. X is equal to the number of Kagari, and Kotaro characters you have on board. You add 1 to hand, and then you discard. You add anything you want to hand, and you summon Western Waiting Room. And then her other auto ability is on attack. You pay 1, ditch 1. She gains 2k. If she reverses something, you can burn 1 to your opponent. So pretty solid. Only a 2 of, because seeing her early isn't that great. You have to ditch her out, whatever. And you really don't want to farm her. And you actually want rather farm Nescatori. So it's kind of like a needs-based thing. So yeah. And then our climaxes are 4 shots with the level 1 climax combo and this Negatory. So yeah, that is my deck. I think we could pretty much go with matchups, I guess, since there's not really a lot of things that you want to put in here. Probably the only thing I would really need is the 2-1 counter from Harvest Vesta. It's just a vanilla counter that's searchable. The Kogari. So yeah. Go quickly with matchups. TLR Yamikon, you pretty much kind of lose to that. Is really like 70-30 in favor of TLR because they're endgame. You kind of could prolong them by just fielding Kotori 3-2s, but for the most part, they have a lot more tools, and I mean not a lot more tools, but just like their advantage engine is quite simpler, and they can just put in cards that can like annoy you to death, like Wormhole, the Wind Trigger. There's so many good cards in the Yamikon that, like, even though they can't mill out as quick as you can, they can just, like, if they cancel against you, you are like cancel in bunches, you are going to have a rough game. Just to put that on, yeah. I mean, any damage counter, and just very self-sustainable. They just outplay you. Next, Animal from the same series. I believe it's a more fair matchup, although they have the Clock Kick Yui, the early play Aruna. That's your early play is kind of better, but I believe that they could try to get bigger than you, which is something that you would probably need to address. They have the same kind of the same milling engine, and their zeros are really good. However, they do have the backup, the any change backup. That is the Nana, and yeah, it's or you kind of beat them more than Yamikon if you can have your main investment, and you just flat out stop them from dealing damage to you. I believe you get them in the long run. Let's see, we can skip that. Monogatari is pretty interesting. Their level 1 engine isn't as interactable as you are, and I believe if they are running the if they choose Hanakawa, then they have more compression than you, and that in turn might have them beating you because they can cancel out later in the game and just wall you out. And by the time they hit level 3, they should have cards to kill you by just like killing and just sustaining their board. If they're running Shinobu, then it's pretty hard to deal with that Sky, and pretty solid. They salvage more than you, and generally red decks decks that can like get that luxury of salvaging. In general, they can outplay you by just advantage. However, generally you can beat over Hanakawa with Kotori, so it's really up to the game. And you're generally your level 0s get more mileage than theirs. With SAO, I haven't really played with Switch in it at all, but honestly, I think SAO has an edge because of their tools, and you don't have a tap, or your tap counter is pretty expensive. Like the cost of play, so like you're not really going to get them consistently, like on the top end, because now their early plays are a lot better, and they just are better than you. So I would probably put SEO as advantage them. Let's say Railgun. Railgun is pretty good. I believe their early play is a little better than yours, but honestly, if you can outlast them, and like your back row is pretty expendable, so you're not worried about that. But if they do something to your 2-1 level assist, then you could go downhill from there. But I believe you have a pretty decent matchup against Railgun. 765. That's a really hard one to. Well, I mean, they can back up on Ami at 3-2 or at level 2. So I mean, it's kind of like a chess game against 765. I believe their salvaging may put them over, but if you're able to just rush them, that's always good. And I think also you're probably not going to get over Haruka at 11-0, so yeah, it's actually a kind of a matchup in favor of 765, so because of their explosiveness and kind of have the better end of the stick with level zeros and how their board coordinates with their advantage. CG, that's pretty interesting. Your level zeros and your level 1 engines are very good. They pretty much push on each other. But then at the end game, I believe you can edge out TP or whatever build CG has. You're not going to get over TP Rin, but you can try to get advantage by just killing off the sides and somehow gut out a good win. But it's pretty difficult when you're playing against a set that has a lot of utility. Still, it can mill out still like moderately quickly again, or still. And yeah, Himenami is a really good card. Milky Holmes, you probably would lose to them because of their finishers. They get off Ellie, they do things, and then pretty hard to counter, actually. Although you might get them at level 2. At the same time, they could generate a lot of advantage without interaction with you. So, yeah. Puyo, you pretty much beat them at level 1. Just because, like, power-wise. Honestly, if Amity isn't really, they don't have a lot of value with Amity. Because, like, your level 1s aren't that big. What they have over you is Magaro and Prejudice. Arl, the finisher. Ricky isn't. I mean, your level 0s are kind of identical, except they have a mill runner, which could help them to compress a little bit. And yeah. But they're dependent on climaxes, and you're not considerably. So I think it's like a 60-40 again for them because they're finishers. And yeah. LB, same way. I think their floor is a little higher because they have Kanata for some reason if they want to use the anti-heal. Their Musashi oh god, I forgot his name already. But yeah. Yep, you have him. And the Sasami, which gets over 12k minimum. So that's a pretty hard matchup. So I give LB the 65-35 on them. The mirror actually is fine. Guardian, I think I put Guardian on top because of the 2 in Lucia. They just snowball you to death. And then apart from that, they compress 2 well. If that wasn't enough, they have the 3-2 Chizuru. They can just beat you. Even though they can't deal damage if they don't play a climax. They burn you for 2 if they reverse your Kotoris. Let's see, what else? I haven't played Zwei in a while. Ilya Zwei, I believe. It's more 60. No, I mean, I would probably be 60-40 for them. Because I think they just have better tools than you. But at the same time, Their level 1 game is where you could pretty much try to win, and also it's pretty much who can get to level 2 first to put the pressure on the game. But then they would probably win because the ZY combo is pretty good. But that means they have to set it up. Core, whatever. The two decks don't really do anything to each other until late game. So, I mean, like, you can deny, like, they can try to move things, but you want to play Climax almost on every turn almost. So, I'm not sure. If continuously running to +1 comes down to as self-destruction, I guess I have to say. Yeah, it's pretty much. I think I put this deck over Core. Isamisa, that's pretty much 50-50. You're not burning in this deck as much, so that's not a problem. It's just the reversing combo is a lot better than, more than Shimakaze, I guess, as it is a stock cell combo, and their heal loops are kind of dumb. So yeah, it's pretty 50-50. What else? We have Kantai. They can sustain their board. They're actually kind of better than you. Because level 1 is a nightmare against them. Well, honestly, people are running Musashi, maybe Kashima, but they're going with Prince, and pretty much that's the new thing, or continuously the thing to do. They're choosing Z3. If not, they can replay Hibiki to lock you out of heals. So every damage matters. If they pick a Hibiki, you probably get rushed to death, honestly. So putting them at 60-40 against you. Sunshine. I think it's quite to your advantage if you're able to maintain your board, quite honestly, and then you're able to reverse things, and that's pretty good for the most part. They play Hanamura. I believe they can kill your Katoris with that, honestly, so be on the lookout for that one. But then you kind of sustain more than they do. And if they don't deal damage almost every turn, you probably would beat them. Gachusa, I actually did some research with that one, and it's Rize or bust with them, really. Although their finisher is really, really dumb, and you have no interaction with it, like any damage counter or anything. So they would probably win 60-40. But if you, for some reason, if you pause them for not taking damage at level 2, that could work into your favor. But their tools are pretty good, and their 2-1 counters are something that cannot be undermined. They're really good. They're just really consistent too. and honestly, they have enough level 1 tools to outright kill you. So with that, I do believe it's more closer than I would think, but I put 60-40 in favor of Got to use a Rabbit House, red blue. Persona, I think it's pretty even. 50-50. Pretty much that. I think your level 0 is a little better. A tad bit a little better. So you kind of, with the advantage of having 3 sets rather than just using P5. Respectively, have only on 1 build. That is something that's really different between Persona and really old sets. Is that really 5 grew to itself? As this one, it kind of did go to itself, but you still needed the runners and all that to actually make this deck good. And honestly, I think they can actually try to kill you at 3. Like they have the more burn potential, and with the Yusuke they can heal too. And if they're running Futaba, they put them over the top. So I think it's kind of even that way, because you're actually you as a rewrite player, you want your tools on demand, and like knowing how to manage your resources, you can outpace them in that regard. But in the same for them, they can outplay you too. So yeah, because their hand advantage is pretty nice compared to this deck. Lastly, ReZero. Man, oh man, just the battle between at release, the yellow-blue ReZero for the most part. They're strictly better than you because their Ricky is so much utility. Their Amelia is literally Magaro, and Ren is something that you do not want to have on play against on board, and it's just you have to get to level 2 before them, or else you're not winning the game. That's how much of a handicap this deck has with the ReZero. Or that's how I think, because they can generate so much advantage without interacting with you. And they have nothing to worry about, I guess. That's the worst part, is that they can play around your Kotori and just like not care. And usually they would have sustainability somehow. They could use 2K counters and just like not lose their hand, and that's pretty dumb. Yeah, so a little long video because of the meta-analysis I have never done, but yeah. This is a fun deck to run. It usually is up to the pilot to actually steal really good games, and yeah. Comment down below if there's anything you would like to comment. If there's any videos that you would like to see, please comment down below also. I have more time on my hands, so I can accommodate your requests. And yeah, hoping I can get on another podcast with my group and go from there. Thanks. This is Kevin signing out.